That is AM. Let me see. I'll just leave that on. So, I'm in bed. Just like my mind is just running thoughts, and I'm just like, oh, I want to capture it before I drift off to sleep. Sometimes I say, oh, I'm going to remember that, and then I don't. So I'm just having more thoughts about SP obsession and saying that I know how hard it is to believe, to accept, to have the humility to move on. But if you can learn that compatibility is not, it's going to sound ridiculous to say. It's going to sound ridiculous to say compatibility is not personal. It's like the most personal thing in the world. But at the same time, it's sort of not personal. You know what I mean? Like let's say, for example, if you are an English-speaking person, and then, there's somebody who, let's say, they speak Portuguese and they don't speak English, and then they desire that they want to be with you, and you just don't feel compatible enough to have to learn a whole new language just to be able to have a most basic conversation. If he could speak English or she could speak English enough for you could have a conversation, that's great. I love polyglots. I don't love polyamorous people at all. No offense to you, if you are, but if you are, all I think I have to offer you is to suggest that you heal more. Or if anyway, I'm not here to disparage anybody. I'm here to say that compatibility, it would be wrong for me to go on a tangent about why somebody who's polyamorous is somehow wrong as a person or a lifestyle, because it's not what I've chosen. So just because I don't choose it doesn't mean, this bad lighting makes me look all weird. Just because it's not compatible to me at all doesn't mean that other people can't be compatible with it. And it's none of my damn business, because if I'm not doing it and I'm not there with you doing it, then what do I care what you're doing in your private life? It's none of my business. Just like it's none of anybody else's business what I'm doing in mine. Okay, and if you're in love with someone, well, my definition of in love includes that it's mutual. So my definition of in love means that if the person is not in love with you, then whatever you feel for them is not in love. It's obsession. And that could be a hard pill to take, because, and again, I think I've said this in other videos, if you're dealing with the loss of grief because somebody passed, I'm not saying that my thoughts could not help you, because if you are dealing with grief and if you're in the place where you're emotionally available to love someone and you want to move on in a healthy way, then this is terrible lighting. then, you know, it could potentially help you. The point is, it's not personal. If somebody realizes, it's like, always try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's where humility comes in. When you realize that somebody's not right for you, you don't always necessarily know exactly why. Sometimes you do know exactly why. So sometimes there's just so many reasons all compiling up together. Sometimes there's no discernible reason other than it's just a gut instinct. You just that's literally what the SP dude said to me. I don't know. It's just my instinct. It's just something tells me this isn't it. Why would you ever want to be with that person? Why would you ever want to be with somebody who doesn't think you're the it? Okay, or in my case, I was so deeply enmeshed in my own coping mechanism that I couldn't even recognize it was a coping mechanism of a deeper truth, which was that actually I was extremely emotionally unavailable to love. And hopefully some of this insanely late night rambling will be helpful to somebody who's struggling with being obsessed with somebody who doesn't want you back or doesn't want you for whatever reason, and you feel like they're the one, or you feel so heartbroken because they didn't choose you. But I promise you, you're not going to be happy with somebody who doesn't love you or who doesn't want you. You're not going to feel good being in their presence. If somehow they give in to you and they cave because they're weak-willed, or they're using you, or they're lonely, or why not fuck somebody who's willing to fuck all the time? Like, you're fucking, you're giving up, you're sucking up, you're doing all this stuff, you're being the best little wife or little husband. You're basically proving, you're selling. You're not selling, you're giving it away for free. You're trying to sell them on the dream of you. And so you're staging a life like a real estate agent stages a house, but you're staging an entire life to like play a commercial so that they'll buy you at the end of whatever. And all for what? Just so you can live a life never being good enough for this fucking person who didn't even choose you? The motherfucker, let them go.